stink. I know it's bad for my health, but I started smoking and I'm addicted to it. I can't help it. I would love to quit. I've tried to quit. Maybe one of these days I'll be able to quit, but it's more the oral fixation. I have a horrible oral fixation. It works well for me in, my sexual exploits, but it's not good for me with the cigarette addiction. It's really bad for me because I need to have something in my mouth at all times. Let's see. What else can we talk about today? Oh, how I'm a freak of nature. I have an Norkia, and I want to promote awareness of the Norkia, so I actually live with it openly. It's a disease it's a condition. It's not a disease. It's a condition that a lot of people who have it are ashamed of, because basically what it is a Norkia is when you're born without, or shortly after you're born, you lose both testicles. I have bilateral congenital anorchia. I was essentially born without testicles. Yeah, it's a rare condition. It's more common now than it was when I was a kid. And it wasn't treated right when I was a kid, because now they give testosterone. It's treated with testosterone because the testicles produce testosterone, and kids without testicles don't have testosterone. But they give testosterone now to infants, and then they give them a break from the testosterone, and they give them testosterone when they're toddlers, because when you're an infant and a toddler, as a boy, you get a surge of testosterone so that your brain develops male characteristics. Well, they didn't do that when I was a baby. They didn't do that when I was a toddler. I didn't start testosterone until I was 11, when I was supposed to start puberty. So basically, throughout my childhood, throughout my formative years, I developed as gender neutral. No sex hormones at all. No testosterone, no estrogen. I am gender neutral. Just like God, which is why I believe I'm God. Part of the reason anyways. But it gave me an interesting perspective. It makes me interesting. It makes me definitely unique. I don't have the same motivations as most men. I'm not all about getting my dick wet. In fact, most of the time I could care less if I get my dick wet. I am highly sexually motivated. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of interest in sex, but it's not for the same reasons. It's not the same thing for me as it is for most guys, which is why I don't enter into casual sexual relationships. I only have sex if I'm in a serious relationship with somebody. And by a serious relationship, I mean there's an emotional connection there and an intellectual connection there, because if those two things aren't there, really, I'm not interested in having sex with that person at all, honestly. It's about as appealing to me as eating a steak off of a garbage can lid. It's not enticing at all. The interesting thing, though, is that I have some male characteristics and some female characteristics. I'm not a hermaphrodite by any means, but mentally, I could kind of be considered a hermaphrodite. One of my more female characteristics is a heightened sense of intuition, which is really kind of creepy, but kind of cool, because I can sometimes figure out some really cool stuff before anybody tells me. I know stuff before it happens. And no, I'm not psychic. I'm not claiming to be psychic. I don't read minds. I don't have telepathy. I'm not precognitive. But, my best friend's wife has had 3 children. My best friend and my best friend's wife have had 3 children together. And the first 2 times she was pregnant, before she told me, she came up and said, "Hey, Justin, guess what?" The first time she said, "Hey, Justin, guess what?" That's my real name, by the way. My friends don't call me Harley. My friends call me Justin. On radio, I go by Harley. She said, "Guess what?" I said, "You're pregnant." And she said, "Oh my God, how did you know?" Because I knew. I just know. And, it's also helped me out in some more serious ways. I've prevented a couple of deaths by just giving into this intuition. And I also tried to prevent an abusive relationship. It didn't work out so well. But, it happens that sometimes people just don't listen. And I understand that. I wouldn't listen to me all the time either, because I'm not always right. I'm usually right, but I'm not always right. I'm married, so I'm wrong a lot, because, married men are wrong a lot, but I'm usually right. I am the American Classic Harley Hughes. It is the Headless Clown Morning Show. It is on Spreaker.com, because that's the place I decided to host it. I'm thinking about setting up my own online radio station website, but it's going to be a little different than your normal Pandora or Spotify. It's not going to be music-based. It's going to be talk-based, because there is a market for talk radio. There really is. And I honestly think that the people who like talk radio, especially, here's the thing that amuses me. The conservative talk radio stations, conservative talk radio hosts are numerous. They're out there. Now, there are liberal talk radio hosts, but they don't come off as liberal talk radio hosts. They come off as entertaining talk radio hosts, not informative. They're not teaching you anything. They're not telling you the news. They're making jokes. They're making fart jokes, which is really interesting to me that conservatives who are, more often than not, if you're conservative, you're uneducated. Educated people tend to be liberal. Uneducated people tend to be conservative. Yet conservatives have, I wouldn't necessarily call it intelligent. Rush Limbaugh is a total moron. But I wouldn't necessarily call it an intelligent show, but it is a show that is based on information, not entertainment. It is to that audience, I'm sure it's entertaining, but it's not a show that's based on entertainment. It's based on information. Whereas the shows that liberals listen to, the highly educated liberals, tend to listen to, well, other than NPR, which, is basically the liberal radio station, is Howard Stern and Don Imus and, these shock jocks who are all about entertainment and no information. I find that incredibly ironic. I am trying to change that, though. I'm going to be the liberal version of Rush Limbaugh, a little bit more satirical, because, I think a sense of humor is important, and Rush Limbaugh, not that funny. Sean Hannity, not that funny. Glenn Beck, definitely, he's batshit crazy, but he's not that funny. And the greatest thing about these guys is they have discovered that they can appeal to the lunatic fringe, the far, far, far right, and they can make money off of it. They can make a lot of money off of it because they sell products to them on their websites and stuff that only they'd be interested in. Survival kits for the end of the world and the New World Order and all of that shit. And it's just, it's a profit-making machine. Fox News is a profit-making machine that it's the news arm of a political party, which is totally ridiculous. Fair and balanced is how they present it, but it's so right-wing that everybody knows it. And anybody who doesn't watch Fox News as a follower of Fox News, who watches the other channels that show what Fox News says, realizes that they're fucking batshit crazy too. It's insane. The conservative, I have some conservative beliefs. I believe in family values. I don't define family. That's a difference between me and conservatives. I don't define family. I let families define themselves. But I believe in family values. I believe in, morality and ethics. But the Conservative Party has kind of taken that and gone ape shit crazy with it. The conservative wing of this country has really gone off the rails with with the Republican senators saying things like, God wants rape babies born. I don't think God wants rape to happen. I don't think that's a misogynistic view that comes from a patriarchal society of a church that does not view women as equals, but views them as second-class citizens. It really does. I mean, religion throughout history has oppressed women, has oppressed basically any kind of minority. It's oppression. It's always been oppression. And it's just, it's not right. It's wrong to oppress people because of religious beliefs, and you're not supposed to do that in this country. In this country, religion and government are supposed to be separate. Thomas Jefferson, who wrote the Constitution, is the one who coined the phrase separation of church and state. The First Amendment says Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, which means that Congress is not supposed to consider religion in lawmaking. It's not supposed to make laws about religion, and it's also not supposed to make laws from religion. It's supposed to be free of religion. That's how the government is. It's a secular country. Jesus said, "Render unto Caesar's the thing that are Caesar's, and render unto God what belongs to God." That pretty much means Jesus said government and God are separate things. Now, I don't know about you, but if the Constitution and Jesus both say it, I don't understand why conservative Christians who are always arguing about the Constitution and Jesus think that God should be involved in our government. He really shouldn't. The governments are secular governments. God doesn't want any part of the governments of man. Doesn't. Talk to a Jehovah's Witness. They know the Bible pretty well. They will tell you God doesn't want any part of the governments of man. So that's one thing I definitely want to debate on this show is religion, religious philosophy, because, I'm not a Christian. I don't consider myself a Christian. I think I'm God. So apparently that kind of flies in the face of Christianity, even though Jesus said in John 10:34, I will quote Bible chapter and verse, that is it not written in your law, I say, ye are gods. Because God, basically, in that section of the Bible, he's being accused of blasphemy for saying that he is God, and they're getting ready to stone him, and he says, you're gods too, basically is what he's saying. He's saying, yeah, I'm God, but so are you. And I've been saying that for almost a decade and a half. Yeah, we are all gods. We are all representations of God. God is an infinite being, not a man sitting on a puffy white cloud with a long white beard. He is an infinite being. Well, he's not even a he, it's an it, that is in every single fiber of every aspect of this universe. That the God particle, what the quantum physics has discovered, the Higgs boson, is the God particle. It's the subatomic particle that creates mass. It's the thing that makes the potential energy waves that the universe is made up of into things, into reality, into existence. So yeah, we are all God. It's really liberating too. The first time I said I am God, whew, it was so powerful it sent a shiver down my spine. It's kind of like having an orgasm. Yeah. You ever notice how going to the bathroom and having an orgasm feel pretty much the same? It's just that the latter is a lot more fun to get to than the former. Because, I like to drink coffee, but not as much as I like to have sex. I guarantee that. And I'd really like to drink coffee. It is 55 minutes into the show. It is 4:56, which means my show's going to wrap up right around 5 o'clock, which is awesome. It is the Headless Clown Morning Show. I am the American Classic Harley Hughes. Hopefully you'll tune in next week for the new Headless Clown Morning Show, which hopefully by then I will have lined up a guest. If not, it will be more random rambling from the mind of a madman. Until then, I hope you have a great fucking day. I hope you get your party on, get your stone on, get your drunk on, get your whatever your thing is, get it on. If if sex is your drug, definitely get it on. And remember, ladies, check out eBay for the cunnilingus for a year for only $4,000. It's a bargain price with my skill set. I should get my vibrating tongue ring again. I used to have a vibrating tongue ring. It was really cool. I should get it again. It'll kind of mess up my speaking, but hey, if it helps me eat pussy, that's all I want to do. All right. I am the American Classic Harley Hughes. It is the Headless Clown Morning Show. It is time to wrap this up. I leave you with a final 5 minutes of binaural beats. Put your headphones on, turn the volume up. We're going to do theta meditation. Just focus on your breathing.